Thanks, everybody, for downloading, streaming, or whatever it is you do to listen. This is the Low Fact Podcast, and if you're new, you didn't know that we took a vacation.
The first vacation in our history.
Yes, we decided to, take a little break, and now we're back with essentially musings that make you go, I suppose. I don't know.
That's good.
But anyway, so on the education vein, I was thinking about education and how it's supposed to be the gateway to, better life and all that stuff. But at the same token, the folks in charge, our betters, as they like to refer to themselves as, I don't think that they would want us, the plebs, the sheep and goats, to have a good education.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going to go with it.
Where did you think I was going to go?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about current stuff.
Well, that's the point. I don't think that there's been... I think that education has been devolving, devaluing, being not as good for the past century. And I think it started to get really bad, starting with my cohort. The people that were educated starting in the late 70s. Well, actually, probably started before. So basically, if you've had an education, or if you've been educated since the 70s onward, your education was probably not all that great to begin with. Better than it is now, but not as good as it should have been. And it's been just getting worse as time goes by.
But do you think that they'd rather have people, like kids in the schools, or at home?
I don't see the point of that question.
Well, I was thinking just about the indoctrination that goes on.
Look, if you've gotten shitty sauce for going on, 4 decades now?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's having kids have had shitty sauce. It's not like they're going to give their kids great sauce.
So it's not like if the kids stayed home that...
Yeah. I think education has been pretty substandard, especially nowadays, especially in the last decade. And don't get me wrong. I mean, well, no, get me wrong if you want, because I'm one of those people that think if it's not good, then it's shit. And I'd rather not have any shit.
So
there are people that believe, something's better than nothing. I believe if it's not worthwhile, if it's not correct, if it's not of quality, then it is nothing.
It's not worth doing,
No, it is nothing.
So everyone's education is nothing. Wow.
If the only thing that you can really do well is soak up instructions and propaganda, then you tell me, is that an education worth having?
No.
But you're saying that in a vacuum.
Well, but surely there's
no.
You don't even know what I'm going to say.
Surely there are people that are getting a better education. One would think, if you're into the conspiracy theories and you have to believe that there's a cohort of people that run the world and they have their own little place where they teach their kids.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking about the cohorts. I was just thinking that there's got to be some people that are getting a reasonable education that are being taught to critically think and question stuff. And there has to be.
Just like there has to be life on other planets?
Yes.
That's the only reason why people think there's life on other planets, right?
What, because there has to be?
Out of all the planets, out of all the thing, and we're the only place.
There's no way.
Well, people, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why, that's the reason why people believe. There's no, it's a faith-based argument, right?
The fact that there's no other life.
No, that there is. Just like that there isn't. Both sides are coming at it from a faith-based proposition. God tells me that I am so special that he made no living beings like me anywhere in the world. There's that bunch. Then there's the bunch there's so many frickin' planets that there's no way.
But maybe God created some other people.
I really don't care. That's not the point.
I like to talk about things that aren't the point.
I think people already know that if they listen.
I just say it.
But
so you're might as well blow it up if you're not going to do it right.
No.
That's not what you're saying?
No. That's pretty much a quitter attitude from you, right? Ew, it's not going to be great then. There's no reason to do it. I mean, there are people that think that, and I just wonder why there's not more suicide. Right? Everybody's going to die. Why don't you end it?
Because then there'd be nothing.
So? There's going to be nothing anyway.
It's better to just talk and complain about it.
Then that's a totally different story. That's a totally different thing. If you're just out to bitch and moan, then say, hey, I'm just out to bitch and moan, and then continue to bitch and moan. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But if you're bitching and moaning, trying to get someone else to fix your situation, I'd much rather hit you over the head with a brick.
No.
Although I don't condone violence.
Philosophically speaking,
sure, I'd rather hit you. I'd rather hit you over the head with a philosophical brick then.
or an actual brick.
Well, no, because as I told you before, violence is not a pretty good solution, because really there's no such thing as the 100% solution. So if you're going to do,
people can figure out what that means.
if you're going to do, and plus it's going to be a podcast topic later. But if you're not going to have a 100% solution, then I don't think you should use violence.
But the other way is just it's going to take so long.
Well, I don't think that the 100% solution of violence would be that simple to carry out either.
No. I mean, I don't particularly like violence at all. Not particularly, I don't like violence.
Well, I don't think anyone likes violence when it's perpetrated on them.
Yeah.
But I think that there are more people than would like to admit are way into violence when nobody can hit back.
Yeah.
But going back to the education vein, no, I mean, look, I think that you should strive for better. And I think you should know that the education that's being perpetrated, really, on the population is not a good one. It's basically one that makes you just smart enough to know how to take directions and, docile enough not to question anything.
And the education is also, not based in fact. I mean, it's like...
What is that supposed to mean?
It's of a particular political leaning at most of the universities.
Well, who cares? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, it's not a... What is it? I can't even think of the words.
Well-rounded?
Yeah, it's not well-rounded.
If you're an adult,
it's
then
one
you can,
view of history.
If you're an adult, you can pick it.
After you've gotten your education.
No. Typically, when someone goes to university or college, they're 17, 18 years old. The ones that are 18 are legally considered adults. They should be able to know what to do.
Have you met an 18-year-old lately?
I don't think 18-year-olds have changed. I was just as immature when I was 18 as probably the ones now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I was any better of an 18-year-old than anybody else now.
It's just funny that we call 18-year-olds adults, though.
It's arbitrary.
I mean, I don't think you're like...
It's some arbitrary thing that people have considered adulthood for a very long time. If they want, they could make it 30.
So what's your solution?
To what?
The education problem. Or do you not care?
What? What do you mean, education problem?
The fact that...
Who says there's a problem? There's only a problem if you think that life should be better than what it is. There's only a problem if you think that you shouldn't make your population susceptible to all kinds of propaganda and just live their life.
I think that's a problem.
In a lie.
It's a problem.
Okay, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first you have to realize that you're being lied to.
Shit, well, they've had that. They've been like, I mean, I don't. How do you do that when you've already?
Well, there are people that say,
them?
well, there are people who say, "Hey, you've been lied to," and then there are going to be some people that naturally sit there and say, "This can't be correct."
When stuff starts happening, they're going to be like, "This doesn't compute."
No, when they learn stuff, they're going to be like, "This doesn't compute."
Right.
And then you have to take a step. You have to go a step further and be like, "This doesn't compute."
I don't think there's very many people like that.
They never are.
I mean, I don't ever remember having that thought.
There never are. And remember, we're sheep and goats. We're thought of as sheep and goats by our betters for a reason.
Sheep can be pretty mean, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got one wolf against 100 sheep. Who you going to put your money on?
I don't know. It depends on the sheep.
Are you talking about bighorn sheep from Colorado?
I'm talking about the sheep that like butt people.
Yeah, the bighorn sheep in Colorado, the rams.
Yeah, rams are no joke.
Yeah, how many of them are there?
I don't know. Like
Again,
amongst all the sheep.
Again, right. In any flock, it's
all right.
The sad state of affairs is that pretty much all of us are followers. Almost none of us are trailblazers.
But we think we're trailblazers.
Down to the last person.
Oh, that's so funny.
Even the people that crow about, people don't want to lead, they just want to follow, acting like that person is a leader, but usually not.
Now, we've talked about leadership before.
Sure, in various forms.
And you think it's innate?
I think that leadership is a gift. Some people are better leaders than others. That doesn't mean that everyone can't learn leadership qualities.
Right.
Just like critical thinking, right? Supposedly everyone can do it. And I think everyone can. I mean,
I don't think there's much critical thinking going on in the country right now.
Why does that matter? That's different from you can't do it.
Yeah, but the fact that there isn't any critical thinking going on would suggest
that you're a bunch of lazy fucktards is what it suggests. It don't mean nothing. You can do something and you don't do it.
But
that
you
just
means taught to.
Really? I don't think you need to be taught to stand up for stuff. I don't think you need to be taught to say, "Hey, this isn't right." You need to be taught to sit down and shut up.
Okay. And at a certain point, you're going to say, "No."
No, you're not. If you're getting all the porridge and burritos you can eat, you're never going to sit there and say, "No, I want something else."
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking of different foods, but
all right. Well, but that's all it really is. It's not like you're getting off when you get a seat at the table. You're not getting offered super great stuff. You're just getting offered a seat at the table at the baby section. Here's your frickin' porridge and burritos. Eat up and be happy because it's either that or nothing.
Right. Meanwhile.
Well, no, there's no meanwhile. Nobody's getting anything better because you're too stupid to get it. Remember? Almost none of us are leaders. We're all followers.
Yeah, but there's the people that are pulling the strings that call themselves leaders.
They're not leaders.
No, I know they're not leaders, but they're not eating porridge and
yeah, they are
burritos.
They're not having what they can have.
I thought they were like eating caviar and foie gras.
That's what they want you to think.
What, they're not?
If you're do you want people to sit there and think that you're eating fucking canned refried beans every night?
No.
Do you think it would be more embarrassing if you had shit tons of money? Or people thought you had shit tons of money and you were eating cans of refried shit every night?
Way worse.
Nobody's got it very good. And the ones that try to claim that they got it great, they're full of shit. You don't have it great.
Are you sure about that?
The only people that have it great are people that are so stupid they're not thinking about stuff.
So you think that the wealthy elites are not having a good time with things?
No, all they got is money.
So they're eating better food than you and me?
No, all they got is money.
They can buy better food.
So it's not going to taste any better.
Ah.
When all you have is money, then you've just got nothing. Put a toddler in a room with everything that they want.
They probably ended up playing with a box.
They're going to be unhappy within the next 5 minutes. Because they either ate too much and threw up or ate too much or shat themselves, but they're not they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Most people okay, so you're a wealthy elite, whatever. You got everything you want. That don't matter. You ain't got nothing. You don't know what to do with it. You don't have critical thinking skills. You didn't get all that money because you put your nose to the grindstone and whatever.
How do you know?
Because I do.
Oh shit.
Everybody, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Shit, you should try like your life depends on it, but you know what? You're not going to get it unless you're supposed to. Which leads us to our next podcast topic, which we will get into tomorrow.